Today, many professionals engage in development activities outside their organization to earn or maintain credentials or to advance in their careers. For instance, engineers, clinicians, and accountants all must take a certain number of accredited courses to maintain their licenses. With the external training form, your employees can add the details of any professional development they pursue outside your organization. You can capture external training in your portal with 4 key steps. Configure the standard fields in the external training form, activate custom fields for any data specific to the needs of your workforce, define the default approval workflows, and finally, create email triggers for approval workflow steps. Like many other features, you can configure external training by division. This is particularly useful if your workforce comprises professions with different continuing education requirements. The form provides you with standard fields that you can personalize to the profession's unique terms and requirements. For instance, you may want your accountants to record their CPE credits, but have your project managers track their professional development units. Note that the completed date on the transcript is when the learner marked the training complete, not necessarily when the training ended. So include the date range field on the form if you want to capture the actual training end date. If you have language packs in your portal, you can also translate this form with the drop-down in the top right. You can view what the form looks like to an end user with Preview. Let's say you want to keep this form the same for everyone so they can capture other types of development as well, like attending a workshop or conference. You can let learners input credential credits with a custom field. Head over to Core Functions. Here you can add a custom training field that asks if this training was towards a credential, which one. Add a radio button or checkbox field with the credentials you want to track. Then activate the field for the external training type. For the field to appear on the external training form, you must also check the options for it to be both visible and editable for the end user. Note that any custom fields you activate here will not be visible to you on the Configure External Training page. To preview them, you must go to your own transcript and select Add External Training. It's a best practice to set the availability to only you at first if you want to test any custom fields before you roll them out to a larger audience. You can define a default approval workflow for both external training requests and completions. Like any other training type, 0 on the user record trumps anything you set here. You can choose to bypass a non-zero number on the user record with the pre-approved option. For other training types, unless the user record says 0, it's the number on the LO that wins. However, for external training, if both the user record and the number here are not 0, the system will use the higher of the 2 values. For example, if the user record says 2 and external training here says 1, then the approvals required is 2. If you use approval workflows, you should also create email triggers to help expedite the process. These 2 are all you need to configure, unless you also use external training in the context of certifications. Request external training fires when the learner submits the form. The completion request email fires when the learner marks it complete on their transcript. It will stay in a pending completion status until the approver approves the request. Choose this option to send the email to the user identified in the approval workflow. When the workflow has multiple steps, this option also ensures the email trigger fires in that order. You may also CC the learner or their manager to keep them informed. You can personalize the message with email tags that apply just to external training, such as the approver's name, entries from the form, as well as inputs from any custom fields you've activated. You are now ready to capture external training for your professional workforce. Learn more about external training preferences, approval workflows, and email triggers in online help.